Another thing that I feel like we should talk about with Windows is how to recompress and send files. Because sometimes you'll notice that files are too big to be sent in an email or to be uploaded to certain websites. So for that, we need to go down to our File Explorer. We can also get there by pressing Windows key and E. And for this example, I'm going to go to my Documents folder. Now here I have a few documents that probably would be able to be sent in an email. They're not very huge. They range in size from, a couple of kilobytes to about 7 megabytes here. But if you have larger files, stuff that's not even that big, like 8 to 10 megabytes, it might not send. So this is still something that realistically I might want to do, because I would want to compress all of these files and send them together. Another good reason for compressing your files is that, as you can see here, these files are all loose. And when I send them to someone and they receive them, I would prefer that they receive them as a folder. When you compress files, that is exactly what happens. It puts them in a folder, and then it makes all those files as small as possible to be able to be sent more easily via email or Discord or another service. So to compress them is very simple. All we need to do is select the files that we want. There's a couple different ways to do this. If I just wanted a few, for example, I could click on one, and then holding Control, I could click on other files, and you'll see that the files in between have not been selected, and then nothing's been deselected, but that I was able to select 4 of these files. I can just click and drag is a very easy way, or I can click, hold Shift, and click at the last one that I want to send as well. And what's even better about these little keyboard shortcuts is that you can do in between. So say I selected all of these and then realized, you know what, I don't need this Dante and Ugolino Canto project. I can click that, and then it would be unselected from the list. For our use case, however, we're just going to select everything here, and then we'll right click. We'll choose Send to a compressed zipped folder. We'll click that option, and then we're just going to name this something simple like Canto, because these are all about a project that I did about a Dante Canto. We'll press enter. So we'll see here, there's not a lot of compression that can happen with documents like Word documents and PDFs, but that it still does shrink the size a little bit. So you'll see here our compressed file is now 11,641 kilobytes, or about 11 or 12 megabytes. But if we add up all of these other files, we'd get about 12,452 kilobytes. So we have saved a little bit of space there to make this file easier to email, easier to upload, and easier to send on other services. Now, different files can be compressed in different ways. Different files can be compressed in different ways. For music, you'll find it can compress a little more, right? The size can shrink a little bit, whereas for video, you'll find it's much harder to compress. Then all we have to do to be able to send this to someone is we can just open up our email client of choice. I'm going to use an Outlook email that I don't really use a lot here for this example. I'll hit new mail. I'm just going to send this to the email linked at my website, cassetvanover.dev. I'll use that address. And then what I need to do is I'm going to choose to add an attachment. I'll browse this computer, go to my documents, and select this Canto zipped file. Press open, and we are going to choose to attach it as a copy. Once that is finished, we can add our subject or text lines as normal. So I'll just call this Canto project and say, hey, I zipped this for you. And then we can send. And there, our email is now out. We can make sure that it's sent by checking our sent items here. And we'll see that to cassetvanover.dev, we have sent our Canto project with, hey, I zipped this for you, and canto.zip. Now, let's imagine for a moment that we're the one that received this email. All right, how do we open a zipped file? Well, it's actually very simple. We can just click canto.zip here. We'll download this file. And then after it's downloaded, what we're going to do is we'll hit show in folder. And then you'll see here in our downloads, we have this Canto folder. I can right click this. And what I'll choose is to extract all. It'll ask, where do I want these to be extracted to? And by default, it's just going to be in the same folder that the zipped file was in. Now, I don't want that. I want this to be extracted into my documents folder. Right? So I'll replace the word downloads with documents in this case, and I'll choose to extract it to the folder Canto and show extracted files when complete. So I'll hit extract. And then once it's finished, you'll see all the files are here in our Canto folder, and if we go back to documents, there is a Canto folder. I hope that cleared up some miscommunication and that you were able to learn something about using zipped folders today. Thank you.